Yeah, I never set it up myself, but when Johnny would do it, he used to have some trouble with it from time to time.
I should tag him in this if he's not busy. Be like, Johnny, come join us. Just don't take over my show. Or do. Okay. Just send out the link to people. And then the audio version, I just cut this part. Yay! Such a cheat. So how's your day going? Good?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. We have my had a bunch of work to do. Just finished a new sculpt. And then our youngest daughter is her first night in her toddler bed, so it's
Oh, nice.
exciting. How about yourself?
It's okay. Just got out of work about an hour ago at this point. So
Yeah. What do you do?
I work at actually I shouldn't show that on camera. No branding. Um,
Okay.
you've actually yeah, because you're an East Coaster too. So Pupagino's mostly
Oh,
New
okay.
England based, but
Okay.
why isn't it showing up? It says we're live. Why are you not showing up on my feed?
I don't know.
I hate Google Hangout. Where is it? Hmm. What if I refresh the live event? Hmm. Why? Hmm. I don't get why this isn't showing up. Hold on.
It says live on my end. I don't
I
know.
know it says live on my end too. Hmm. The wonders of technology. I am live streaming there, YouTube. Come on. Uh, hmm. This does not make sense.
It's not sharing to YouTube.
No, that's why I'm confused. It says live now. Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
Was it on the whole time?
Yeah, you had to click on the live now to get the link. Here, I'm gonna send you the link so you can share it too, and then we can actually properly.
Okay.
Just gonna mute myself so I don't throw myself off. Of course, the look on my face is one that's what's going on? Yeah, I don't like looking at myself. Yeah, no, stop it. There we go. Okay. Aha. Then, of course, there's 3 browsers open on my computer because you have to go on Internet Explorer.
Oh, really? Made you go through there?
Yeah, it doesn't let me use it any other way. Where is it? Okay,
I'm
and
using
just
it on
send it through
Firefox.
Cryptocurium because I can't get the chat to open up here.
All right. All right. So if I lose you, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. All right.
Worst comes to worst, I'll just relink you. Oh. No.
Okay.
You back? Oh,
Yep.
okay. There we go.
All right.
Hey, we got 1 viewer. Unless it. Oh, is that me? Oh. Oh yeah, that's technically. All right, and then what am I missing here? Nothing. I'm missing nothing. Okay. Well, it says 0 viewers, so it might not count me. It might count me. I mean, might have counted me for a millisecond, so I could check it. Oh, you know what's really bad is it took me forever to figure out that these lit up because I literally just got these headphones and then I plug it in. I'm like, oh, it has lights.
That's cool.
You might appreciate my shirt. I tried to go with something horror themed. Yeah, as I fall over. Come on, clear up. It's the episode of Doctor Who with Are You My Mommy?
Okay.
But in like a Tim Burton-esque style.
Very cool. Very cool. I will admit right off the bat, I've seen like 2 episodes of Doctor Who.
I was wondering because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I just never got into it. I mean, I'm probably into just about everything else.
Oh,
But I
that's fine.
never got into Doctor Who. It just wasn't. I just never clicked with me.
So to start off with is hi guys. Obviously, it's Eric live after about 10 minutes of cursing out Google, figuring out what we're doing with the Google Hangout. I swear I'll get used to their new system eventually. No, I won't because it's stupid. But I am joined by the always extremely awesome and extremely talented Jason Mckittrick, who has an awesome last name, by the way.
Oh,
of
thanks.
Yeah, your last name's awesome.
Oh, thanks.
But of the Cryptocurium, mostly people might know it as the Cryptocurium Parcel of Terror, which you've seen me unbox several times at this point. I'm on my, I think, technically, this month's will probably be my 4th box. Yeah, my 4th box. Even though I'm telling you right now, if it's either this month or next month's with the it is the magnet, right?
Yeah, that's this month. Yeah.
He's going on the side. I mean, this is less creepy than I mean, I love Tim Curry, but he's still going on the side. But the Cryptocurium Parcel of Terror, and you guys obviously just very recently launched the Order of the Thin Veil, which I can't wait to finally join eventually because I will be. I want that awesome statue.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah,
that thing is gorgeous.
thank
But
you.
yeah, to start off with, is how and why did you decide to start the Cryptocurium? Like, what was the catalyst?
It actually started with candy making, believe it or not. Cryptocurium started as one Easter I made a chocolate Cthulhu idol.
Oh, nice.
And I had to give a name. I had to give it a name, and it was kind of a word that I kind of made up. It doesn't really mean anything really. It kind of just is like like almost if you were thinking about like almost like a secret laboratory or something scary in a house or something like that. It's like it's a cryptocurium, somewhere where you would keep your spooky stuff or something like that. I mean, I didn't, it was just kind of like a word I made up. So I gave that the title to it, and then I did candies for God, like 2 years, and so people didn't want. After a while, people were asking, "Hey, could you cast this stuff in resin? I mean, because I don't want to eat the candy; it's too cool looking." I was like, "I guess I never tried it before." And then as time went on, I just stopped doing candy and finally just did things in resin only, and then it just kind of evolved.
Oh, so the pieces of candy that are occasionally in the parcel of terror, is that stuff that you've made?
No, I don't make candy
okay.
anymore. It's it's a very difficult process just because there's so much involved. So I haven't made candy in about 3, maybe even 4 years now.
Was it probably as time consuming, or if not, like compared to the Cryptocurium stuff?
It was just more tedious, to be honest, and there's so much cleanup afterwards. I mean, I had fun doing it, but I mean, I never like went, and go to like, a culinary school or anything like that. I went to art school. I always wanted to do that, and but the candy is what kind of launched everything. So I just kind of stuck with it for a little while, and then finally switched to, fine art stuff all the time.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. Is what did you take in school, and is it really like what you're following at this point?
Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree in fine art and illustration. I went to the University of the Arts in Philadelphia. I don't do illustration, but I do sculpture. I'm actually a self-taught sculptor. I taught myself after college. So I mean, I am working in my field technically, but I'm not an illustrator.
Without because this is something I've been curious about for a while, without talking like specific numbers, is the would you say the parcel of terror might have gotten as big as some of the like the mainstream subscription services?
No, there's no way. I mean, I would actually, if it got too big, I'd have to cap it because I can't imagine how much like Loot Crate or people like that, how many thousands of subscribers that they have. I could never go more than a few hundred because I have to make all the stuff
Yeah.
by myself. I make everything by myself. So going beyond a couple hundred it's just not even possible. There's a few months in the past where I had to cap it. So
That was actually going to be my follow-up question. Is I'm
yeah.
curious about the overall like cap. What months would be examples of that? Are those like the alien or specific like magnets or specific wall hangers? That's what I love
Um,
about the Parcel of Terror, is the fact that like obviously this month's was a mystery box, but for the most
mhm,
part, you know what you're gonna get, and then you'll forget when you're about to unbox it and be like, oh yeah,
right.
it's this and this.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of go back and forth on that too because people do like seeing everything, but then I get plenty of other people that like, could you just show one thing and then keep some stuff a mystery and like have like both? I'm like, I'd like to do both, but it's tough because as many people say that they want to see stuff as just as many people that say, oh no, I want to, I don't want to see anything. It's like, well, I can't do both. It's one or the other. But I'd say the most popular ones are always the ones around September and October, like when we do the Halloween theme ones. Because last year I did 2 Halloween boxes, September and October, are both Halloween themed, and those ones were very popular. I had to cap that one, and then the year before that, I also had to cap that one because it was just couldn't possibly make it in time. If I had to get all that done in time for people to have it by Halloween, I had to cap it. So.
And I know I'm still bummed that I didn't know about it way ahead of time, because I think I probably would have been subscribed just as long as our mutual buddy Johnny has been, because some of the past stuff I've seen is amazing. And I mean, not 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 parcel related, but I mean, obviously I did get the Eye of Azathoth from you. Oh wait,
Right.
did I forget to leave a review? Uh-oh. I can't remember if I left a review. I gotta go fix that on
Oh,
Etsy if I
okay.
haven't.
I
I
appreciate it.
just thought about that. I'm like, crap, did I? That just literally clicked in my head. Hopefully, I
Yeah.
remember it. If not, I'm gonna go fix that when we're done talking tonight.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
I
no,
hate when
Johnny's
that
been.
happens.
Yeah, no, Johnny's been a subscriber since the beginning. He's been a real big help helping to spread the word, and I've become pretty good friends with Johnny. We've actually never met in person, but we're actually, as good of friends as you can be over the internet.
Yeah, you kidding me? I saw all their posts from TFW just going, "Why can't I be there right now?"
Yeah, I was thinking about it this year, and then it was just like, oh man, I'm always so busy. I'm literally always working, so it's hard to do that kind of stuff. And then I'm married and I have 3 kids on top of it, so
Yeah.
it's like, ugh. So the very little time that I do have, it's like I kind of just want to relax.
Have you tabled at any conventions at all yet?
Yeah, I did Necronomicon, the first 2 of those. The one out in Providence, it's the H.P. Lovecraft theme one.
I've heard about
Um,
this, but I haven't been able to go yet.
yeah, they're having it again this year, but I'm actually skipping this year because I'm just too busy now with the OTV stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't even make that now. So shows are great and they're fun to do, but I think I actually enjoy them more as a visitor than a vendor because I don't get to see anything. I'm stuck behind a table, so it's just it's what it is.
You're talking to a guy who has a webcomic and and is a cosplayer. I know that struggle very well.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
podcast, the webcomic, and and a cosplayer. It's just like there are moments where you're like, can I split off into like 3 different people so I can table, I can go get interviews, and I
Right,
can go hang out with my friends.
right. Yeah, no, that's the biggest bummer because Necronomicon, I'm friends with all of the other artists that are, that attend, and I just, it's the only place I ever see them in person. So it was just like, I want to go talk to them, but at the same time, I got to take care of my table, and it's nuts. And then I want to see Providence too because it's, such a beautiful city. So it's just going there as a vendor is it's too tough.
So to talk about specifics of the crate is especially with this month's with this year's wall hangers, you've decided
Hmm.
on a Edgar Allan Poe theme for the most part,
Hmm.
minus this month, having everything tying into scary things. But what was the idea behind tying everything into Edgar Allan Poe and then getting to kind of play with the magnets like you
Um,
have?
yeah, well, the first year they were all Lovecraft themed plaques, and then the second year they were cryptids, so cryptozoology, animals. So then this year I was like, well, who's next? I'm like, well, Poe. So I wanted to kind of like stagger because last year was like the creatures. So this year I was like, now let's go back to something literary, and it's something that people know. And I like the challenge of trying to create an image / plaque for each story. So it's fun for me. I've been a lifelong Poe fan, so it's if I'm going to be making the things multiple hundreds of times, I'd like it to be something that I enjoy.
Yeah, God, where is it? It's I'd have to point the camera a little bit up. My telltale heart is just chilling right on top of the turtles print, and then a little by that is actually something I picked up from where is it? I hate trying to point cameras this way. I don't know if you can see it. It's this awesome skeletal dragon just chilling next to the critter. Got it
Nice.
from we went to the Yankee Candle main big location, the one out
Okay.
in where is it? I forget where it is, but we went there the other day. I saw that and I was just like, yes, that'll fit right in with all of Jason's wall plaques. But I love that telltale heart, and then it's actually kind of in a triangle right now because you got the Red Death right above it. It's
Right.
just chilling by. Actually, you'd like this because I'm not sure if you've seen the updated yet. Do you see what the Red Death is sitting right next to? That's Alan Moore.
I can't tell what it is. I could see the critters
It's
poster.
it's Alan Moore.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
I thought it appropriate.
Very cool. Yeah, no. the plaque that's in the one that you're getting this month, which unfortunately, just because of ridiculous time constraints I didn't reveal what was the plaque in the one for May, which is the black cat. So you'll see that very soon. And then I'm revealing the June edition. The June edition is getting revealed this weekend, and you'll see what that is. I don't want to give anything away yet.
Oh yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Don't feel pressured. Tell me everything.
Well, if you look at my Instagram, there's a hint of what the magnet will be.
I do love that that you've been extremely what's the word, extremely responsive with social media in general. I always love seeing that from like any artists or creators, especially ones that are doing the subscription box, which I hate to throw Loot Crate under the bus, but it took them a month and a half to get me or no, like almost a full month to get me the Primal DX box.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, worth it, but
Yeah, no, I mean that's also, I would say, a strength of being a smaller box is that I don't have that many people that I have to worry about, because it's all handmade stuff. So I kind of have to. I want to be able to take care of all the customers I have. So if you get too many, it gets a little too hard to take care of everybody, because eventually there's always going to be an issue with someone loses something, or the mail loses their box, or something gets damaged. So if I can be there to take care of it right away, I usually like to be. So.
And what's the major difference between what you see traffic wise on the main website versus Etsy? Is it 50/50, or does it seem like more on the Etsy side, or?
It usually, I've actually been, over time, I've been trying to kind of like split the traffic between. I've actually been over time taking things off of my website and then kind of just moving them just to Etsy, because I want eventually just my website to be where you sign up for the Parcel of Terror or sign up for the Order the Thin Veil, and then have all of my regular items on the Etsy store, because it's much easier to keep track of it on the Etsy store, because as time goes on, I'm thankfully I'm growing as time goes on, and it just gets harder and harder to keep track of things that come through the website, as opposed to Etsy, where they lay everything out for you. You can see what it is. It gives you a due date. It's wonderful.
Is the overall reception I can probably bet that there's maybe one or two people that don't understand the delay on some things, but for the most part, is it
Oh my God.
pretty chill, most of your customers?
It usually is pretty chilled out. I mean, most of the time, everyone's been great, but every here and there, you'll get someone that's oh, I ordered something on Friday, this is like Monday. Did it ship yet? It's like, dude, read the text. 6 to 8 weeks for delivery on this thing. I mean, I have to make it. I was like, and you're not my only customer. It's like, I appreciate the business, but just I'm not Amazon.
The painting style on production is something I've always been curious about. Like, do you do a mix of different kind of painting, or do you do like, like say some of it is like that spray method paint versus like actually hand painting with a brush kind of stuff?
It's
Like, are
it's
there different
all
processes?
it's all with a brush. I don't use any airbrushing.
Oh,
It's all
nice. Okay.
it's all hand brushed. Yeah. Even though someone told me like, oh, you learn the airbrush. I'm like, nah. I like. I'm very much like traditional when it comes to art, and even to me, an airbrush is not traditional. It's I know that's crazy, because it's not, because not traditional is 3D printing or 3D sculpting. That's not traditional, but for me, I have to. I much prefer painting it with a brush. I feel like I have better control over it. So.
How do you pick the different franchises that you play around with, especially like when it comes to the overall Magnet themes?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll originally the first year I stuck to slashers pretty much. There's a couple here and there that were not slashers. Like I had something from Silent Hill. I had The Girl from the Ring, who's technically not a slasher, and then I did like Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, which technically also not a slasher. But as I go on, I kind of especially this year, I've kind of left it more of like an open format, because last year, not the year before, it was the Universal Monsters, and I kind of just stuck to them for that year. And then after doing that for a year, I was like, oh, I think I want to do an open theme this year because it was, I could just basically go with what I want to do as the months go on. I mean, yes, I very much have the whole year mapped out, but it's a little more free this year.
I'm still telling you, I'm not sure if you saw that conversation between Johnny and I, but we're dying for a. I'll suggest it. I know we kept it vague and said a Donnie Darko thing, but I'm telling you,
Frank the Rabbit.
Frank, yeah, do Frank.
Yeah, I'll probably do something with him eventually. I mean, I have a lot of things written down that and I can plan that I want to do, but things change sometimes on a whim because I'll sit down to sculpt it. Like I don't feel like sculpting this, and I'll just go down the list. I'm like, I'll do this instead. So sometimes it's very much on a whim. But yeah, I will take the Donnie Darko into consideration. Although Johnny's been harassing me to sculpt a Pinhead one for years, and I just don't feel.
Oh, there you go. Wait, you just don't what? I'm sorry.
I just don't feel like doing Pinhead.
I thought you said you don't like him. I'm like, uh-oh, fire.
I actually don't like those movies. I don't think they're okay. They're okay, but they're not like.
No, I'm with you, and I know I'll get flack for it, especially when Johnny watches this, but or listens, depending.
Johnny,
but,
you know how I feel about this, so if you're watching this, I don't care what you say or think. So there you go.
I'm a Clive Barker fan.
Yeah,
but I think Pinhead's definitely one of the weaker things that he's come up with.
Yeah,
it's sort of like I'm not sure if you've seen the conversation that's been going around online since the interview was printed, but apparently Alien 5 was basically killed by the Prometheus sequel, and the way he's described why can't I think of his name right now? But the way he's describing it in the interviews is not what's been said by both Neil Blankoff and
Ridley Scott?
No, not what Ridley Scott said contradicts what both Blankoff and oh wow, why can't I think of she's one of my favorite actresses too, but I can't think of her name right now.
Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah. Sigourney Weaver and Blankoff have said specific things that contradict what he just said in an interview. So you kind of saw the fan base kind of turn and be like, well, who was asking for a Prometheus sequel versus what we were seeing with the concept art for Alien 5 and how awesome it would have been. And I was just like, devil's advocate, because I kind of wanted that one over this one, but I'm still excited for this one. I don't think I'm going to see it midnight release though.
I'm definitely going for the midnight release. I'm a huge Alien fan, and I have to see it.
No, I didn't know that at all.
yeah, just a little. I have a ridiculous collection of stuff too, and
oh, do you?
Yeah, yeah. I have in like perfect condition one of the 1979 like 18-inch figures.
Nice.
Yeah, among many other things.
And I mean, you have like at least 6, if not 7, things available on the Etsy store that people can go check out, including an awesome magnet set and at least one wall plaque.
At least one, yeah. But yeah, no, Ridley Scott has clout, so he probably just swooped in and was like, look, this is what I want to do. And they were like, okay. And they probably looked at the numbers from the last 2 Neil Blomkamp movies, and they were like, unfortunately. And
no, that's true. I just wince because both of them are good movies.
Yeah. I just, I'm interested to see what he does with this, and I'm going to go definitely see it, and I hope it's good. I just, I'm not too keen to see him like take over the franchise for like, what does he sign up for, like 3 more sequels? It's like
at least 2.
Yeah.
He's gone full James Cameron.
Oh my God. James Cameron doesn't do what James Cameron does. What was that thing from South Park?
Oh yeah.
Because James Cameron is James Cameron.
I know since we're actually talking about movies for a minute, I know obviously the Parcel of Terror, lives up to the name being horror, but are you since we're talking about certain directors, are you a Transformers fan at all?
I liked the first one. I mean, we're talking about the movies, we're talking about like the franchise.
Oh, I'm talking about all Transformers. Not just the movies.
Yeah,
I like the
liked.
first one too.
Yeah, I watched the movie when I was a kid. The big Transformers movie when I was a kid, the animated one.
Oh, so good.
I
So
had a
good.
ton of I had like a ton of the toys. And then, I liked the first movie. The second one was, the third one was a lot more fun. And then that was the last. I didn't see any of the Mark Wahlberg ones because fuck that.
I give Peter Cullen all the power in the world for
Mhm.
collecting that check, but the fact that they basically, I don't know if you've seen the trailer, they flat out have Optimus Prime say something that is so incredibly out of character that I was just like, I kind of want to punch either the screenwriter in the face or just kick him right in the balls.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime would not give up a planet just to save his own species. That's not how Optimus Prime rolls.
Yeah, well, I think they, as each one goes on, they move away from whatever core things they were keeping from the original cartoon. So,
It's super fascinating too, because I don't know if you're a voice actor guy at all, but they actually had a toy commercial where we've all seen Peter Cullen's face, but you know how
mhm.
Frank Welker is like super reserved and like
Mhm.
stays out of the public eye as much as possible and lets his
Yeah,
voice do the talking. They
right.
had a commercial, a toy commercial, live action toy commercial for the newest movie with Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, and you actually see Frank's face and how he is and like how excitable he was and everything. It's just like, this is
Wow.
surreal to watch. I've never seen his face before. I did
Wow.
not expect that voice out of that face. I posted it on Facebook just going, is anyone else reacting to this like I am right now? It's a 30-second toy spot, but it's like Frank Welker in person. When
He's
were we
not
ever going to
doing.
see
He's
that?
not doing. He's not doing the Megatron voice this time,
Oh,
is he?
he is.
He is. Oh wow.
I guess he did for the last couple movies, but
Oh
that's still
really?
not going to get me to watch it.
Because it was like Hugo Weaving for the first
Two.
three, wasn't it? First
No,
two.
I think he
Okay.
only did the first two, and
Wasn't it?
he only did the second one because he was contract bound. He
Okay.
like complained about the first one, and it's just like,
Okay.
dude, how do you not know what you're signing up for when you're voicing Megatron?
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Yeah,
The
he had the
cool.
same reaction to Red Skull though. So,
Uh,
but
yeah. Well.
getting back on track,
Yeah.
um, though actually it is more comic based. Is there's especially like lately we've seen a lot of mainstream attention for overall horror comic books.
Hmm.
Have you ever considered playing with that field a little bit? Maybe like touching base with actual like creators who are working on horror comics, like a Man Thing or a Swamp Thing, or even like some Hellblazer or even some independent stuff like David Hines' work. I
Um.
don't know if you know David Hine at all. Is fantastic.
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with him. I have to look.
He did a Strange Embrace, which I have sitting.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
Okay. Unfortunately, I can't go. I can't do anything Marvel or DC
Oh
because
yeah.
I kind of float below the radar, if you know what I mean. So,
Yep. No, I know. I
um, as much as I would like to, because I'm a huge Marvel fan like my whole life, so I would love to do that kind of stuff. I mean, I've sat there before. I was like, well, maybe I could do a Venom magnet with a big tongue, or like or a Carnage, but I can't. I just can't do it. It's just I will I will get in trouble.
yeah, I think it's the visual medium thing versus the physical like having something physical in your hands, and because
Right.
uh subscription service like yours versus something that's just like a piece of fan art that like
Right.
someone occasionally sells a print kind of thing.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think it actually just comes down to like the companies too, because like Marvel slash Disney or DC, Warner Brothers, they're very very protective of their stuff. But horror movies, in contrast, like any of the slashers or anything like that, they welcome all this stuff because it
Yeah.
just brings more attention to their brand. So they it doesn't bother them. So like anything within the horror realm, even like the Universal monsters, they don't seem to care. I mean, I don't go looking, but but it's yes, I would like to probably look into other things in that way. Maybe some comic stuff. I'll look around because I always do like to expand and look for new stuff because every year the series changes. Like
Yeah.
the magnets will change every year, the plaques will change every year, and I'm also been playing around with changing the format of what stuff is inside the box too. Like I actually might change over to, instead of a magnet and a plaque, it might next year maybe might turn into just one bigger thing, and then like maybe like a smaller pen or something, just to just to change it up.
I would definitely recommend, at least from a reading standpoint, checking out a lot of Dave's work. Like he did this I actually have it sitting next to me. He did this awesome vampire book called FVZA, and it's
Okay,
so good. Federal Vampire and Zombie Agency, and it's so
okay.
good.
What company did that one?
It was Radical Comics,
Okay.
and they're full-fledged
Hmm.
like think like 48 issue like standalone,
Okay.
floppy, not like a floppy typical comic, but it feels like a
Right. Right.
trade, and it was only 3
Okay.
issues.
Hmm.
But he I'm trying to think. What's one that I would really recommend, especially since obviously you like cryptozoology?
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of Proof?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Oh, have
Yes.
you read it?
I think I have like the first 3 issues, maybe.
Yeah,
I had to.
Riley Rossmo, and obviously Alex
Yeah.
Grecian was the writer, but
Yeah.
Riley was the artist.
Yeah.
We talked for years while that book was going on. We did a creator
Oh wow.
commentary for it, but I always sing its praises. I'm hoping one of these days they bring it back. I would
Yeah.
love to see it brought back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think comics are in a weird time right now. They don't know
Right? Yeah.
what's going to sell. So I think they're a lot of companies are in panic mode, so they're not sure what to put out. I mean, I think not gone are the days, but right now are not the days where you had a really wide, selection of things. You know what I mean? It seems to. I mean, every time I go to the comic store, like on New Comic Day, it's like, wow, it seems to be shrinking like big time. But could just be the upswing of the pendulum, and it's going to come back, and maybe we'll get another good another good run of stuff. Who knows?
Thank you, by the way, for being one of the only subscription services that isn't Walking Dead obsessed.
I can't stand that show. My wife watches it, and so by extension, I watch it with her. Not a fan. I think it's been the same show for what, 4 seasons now. They just
Yeah,
the same
I
show.
stopped watching around season 4.
Yeah. And I think the what's his name, the new bad guy Negan, I think is just too little, too late. But
Hey,
yeah,
I
no,
love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but yeah.
yeah, no, he's great. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a great actor, and I can see why they brought him in. But yeah, Walking Dead stuff, it will never ever be in the parcel of terror. I promise you.
So it's slightly different, but I am curious about the overall the overall idea of, and people can check out Johnny's video for all 3 of you talking about it extensively, but the Order of the Thin Veil is
Hmm.
much less of a overall like monthly thing versus
Hmm.
like how would you describe it to people?
It's we're trying to build a community around it. I mean, it's a membership thing where it's basically like a Halloween club for without all the bells and whistles. It's a Halloween club, and we're trying to kind of build a community around it where you could sign up. It's like a tiered style of membership. There's bronze, silver, gold type of thing, but we call it different. It's like it's like candy corn, trick or treat, and all hollows, and you get a varying degree of items. But and we're gonna have events that you can go to, and obviously we just launched on March 1st, so it's still pretty new. But we trying to create something that folks can who really are into Halloween and not just that I don't know, not the hashtag 365 Halloween 365 people, but it's more like the people who really are into it, really are interested in the history of it, and they really they kind of live Halloween their whole lives, and we want to have a community where people can kind of have like the whole experience of talking with other people who are into it, sharing their photos or stories or whatever experiences and things like that with other people who are members, and hopefully as time goes on and we can hopefully grow the Order of the Thin Veil, which is growing, and it's going really well. We can bring together something that's kind of unique. I mean, I know this is all very vague, but I have plans that I can't say anything about yet.
Yeah.
Because we have some big announcements coming up. But you can check it out. It's on my website, cryptocurium.com. If you look up the top, there's one that says Order of the Thin Veil, and it's written out a lot more succinctly and intelligently than I'm saying right now, because I spent a while writing that stuff on there. But it's take a look. It's me and my friend Sam Heimer. We put this thing together. Take a look at the pictures we have up there. It kind of speaks better than what I'm saying now, and it's it's absolutely a labor of love, because Halloween is very much a big part of my life. I mean, there's my alarm.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, so it's it's been something I've been working on for years, so it's very cool that it's come to fruition. But it's also very much a work in progress. So you could next year it might even look different than it does now. So we're working on it.
When I remember you guys even talking about like specific like items that would be like exclusive to subscribers of Order of the Veil, which I thought was a pretty cool idea too. Will that be like almost like a separate website? Like you'd put like a emailer type of thing, be like, there's only so many of these kind of thing. You can check them out here, and kind of like put that kind of link up there.
Yeah, we have there's a members only email newsletter, and the first exclusive item just came out 2 weeks ago. It's I don't have it here to show you, unfortunately, but if you go on the Order of the Thin Veil's Instagram page, you can see a picture of it. It's called the Totem of Lantern Jack, and Lantern Jack's a character that I created probably about 15 years ago, and I finally got somewhere to use them. And it's all this stuff that we're creating kind of all ties in. We're kind of trying to creating a legend of our own around Halloween. So we have characters that we're creating. Actually, I can show you something here. I have something here. This is the next sculpture that goes out. This is Cat Clown.
Nice. He's adorable.
Yeah, he's anyone who signs up at the Trick or Treat or All Hallows level gets one of him. That's the second thing that goes out. There was a wall plaque that went out a few weeks ago for the first batch of people that signed up, because it's open all year. You can sign up.
I think I saw that one. It was on I think I saw on either Darren or Johnny's video. I can't remember.
But and then the third sculpture, which is the Lantern Jack. He's not in here.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. That's that'll be going out sometime in June. So I mean, for people who have signed up from here.
It actually has 31 jack-o'-lanterns on it, doesn't it?
It does. It does. I made sure it has.
I pay attention to interviews.
Yeah, it has 30 at the base, and then his head is the 31st.
That's awesome.
Yep. So
I love like seeing stuff like this, and obviously you have Butch doing candy corn, and like seeing all these awesome independent projects coming up by people that you can tell have both grown up and love all this material. It's really great to see a lot of the progression of this stuff and people like kind of reaching for their dreams.
Yeah, no, it's it's something that I've wanted to do for my whole life. Like if I could just do Halloween themed stuff all year round, I would.
Has this basically become the day job at this point?
Yeah, I am. Cryptocurium is what I do.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it took a long time.
No, trust me, I get that. I was gonna say, my 30th birthday is sitting on a Sunday, and I'm still questioning my life at this point.
Okay. Let me see. Cryptocurium launched in 2010, but I still had a day job then, and I turned 30 in 2011, so I guess I was full time Cryptocurium 2012. Yeah, so since 2012. So,
Nice.
yeah.
No, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
like I said, I know it's kind of silly to kind of question yourself at, at my age when like obviously Walt Disney didn't hit it big until he was like what 50 something at that point when the parks launched. So that's always a
Right.
perfect example that I keep trying to instill in my own head. What
Yeah.
would you say to people that are, like that saying like their 20s or even like people that are like a little older at this point who probably do feel directionless?
Well, I think your age is irrelevant. If you want to do stuff, just do it. I got to where I am, and I'm still not where I want to be yet either. I mean, I still have more goals that I want to achieve. Don't give up. I mean, don't just tell me no, and I'll still do it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, uh, you know, just keep going. That's all I could say. Don't ever let anyone tell you that what you're doing is wrong, or this isn't the way to do this, or this is not what you should be doing in life. This is not where you should be at this. Nobody knows anything. So you do you. Don't ever give up. That's it.
Nice. No, that's
Yeah.
awesome advice. So I'll share mine after you share yours. What's your favorite
Mhm.
most obscure horror movie? And something tells me that you know mine, so which would make me pretty smile because I'm pretty sure every horror fan knows mine because it's so awesome. But what's your favorite obscure horror movie?
Oh wow, I have to think about that because I like a lot of weird ones.
Okay, fine. I'll go first then.
Go ahead.
Um, Waxwork 2 Lost in Time.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
love
that.
that movie so much. That's scary movie done right.
Right, right. Oh
I
man,
mean,
you're gonna put me.
it has Carradine in it. It has
Uh huh.
the lead is what is Zach what's his name from Gremlins. You
Hmm.
have Deanna Troy, you have Bruce Campbell, you have
Hmm.
you have all these well-known horror and cult actors in that thing, and then it's flat out homaging everything from Frankenstein's monster to
Right,
Alien to
right.
full on the villain is basically what's his name from Ghostbusters.
Right, right.
There is no Dana. Only Zulu.
Right, right, right. Oh man, a most obscure horror movie. This is so hard because I want to say most of the ones I like are obscure. Um, I mean, I don't know what people consider obscure. I mean, I really like The Burning. Have you ever
Oh,
seen
okay.
that? Um,
I've heard of it. I've never actually been able to sit
oh,
down and watch it.
oh, sit down and watch that. That's Tom Savini at his finest.
Oh, it is.
Go,
Okay, see, that's why I've heard of it. Okay.
he turned down Friday the 13th part, whatever it was, to
Was
go
that
do. I think he didn't do the second one. He did the first one, but didn't do the second one. He went to, yeah, that's what it was. He didn't do the second one, and he went and did The Burning instead. And the effects in that movie, and just the cruelty of the kills in that movie are just over the top. It's crazy.
is that after his Night of the Living Dead?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the guy who he kills with like hedge trimmers, and it's so good. If you haven't seen that yet, do yourself a favor and watch The Burning, or if you haven't seen Motel Hell, go watch Motel Hell
Yep.
because that's another good one. Because that's more of a spoof anyway, and that one's a lot of fun.
You know, it's another
Um,
really good one. I might have it in front of me. Let me double check. I'm looking over there. Are you over there? I saw you earlier. Nope. Okay, I thought it was over there. Black Sheep.
okay, yeah, yep,
That one's good.
yep.
Mostly
Um,
because obviously Weta made that thing awesome.
I think it's somewhat obscure, but it's kind of new. It's from I think it was from 1999 or 2000. You ever see Session 9?
Yep.
I
Yeah,
love that
Session
movie.
9 is so good.
I love that
I
movie. My wife hates it every time I put it on.
my buddy showed it to me for the first time. It was us and a group. It was a whole group of us, like 4 or 5 of us watching it. And God, that movie's so head trippy.
Yeah, and that movie was filmed in the old Danvers Asylum up
Yep.
in yep, which is the inspiration for Lovecraft's Arkham Asylum.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that place now it's condos. They saved like one of the like facades, and like it's like condos. It's like that's crazier than it being like a mental hospital. It's like I can't believe.
I don't think I could live in a place like that. I'd be
No,
like, no, I'm good, thank you.
no, no. And Danvers, because they changed their name, Danvers was the original Salem village where the Salem
Oh yeah,
hangings and
okay,
witch trials
yeah.
actually took place because they changed their name because they wanted to try to lose the stigma. So, like, there was actually two towns. There was Salem and then Salem Village, but Salem Village became Danvers. So, a lot of history in that town.
I am curious, since we did talk about Cthulhu a little bit, is what would you say kind of sparks your love for Lovecraft's work?
Just because of how the scope of his work is so unlike anything else. I mean, now it's almost old hat because Lovecraftian is a word. You know
Yep.
what I mean? But
Well, yeah,
um,
because it's public domain, obviously, so people get to
right,
play with it as much as they possibly can.
which is fine, and also is something that he encouraged in his lifetime. So I think it's his scope of horror, because it's like most horror during that time was like vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein's monster, that kind of stuff, and just even a lot of the stuff today that is out, it's very small in its scope. Lovecraft takes the entire universe and just shows us that Earth is less than a speck of sand, and it's like, well, you can't get more horrific than that. And I just just what any of the stories that he did is just not what most writers would have done with that situation. He takes just his basic premises are just not what you would think, like, or whatever story he was doing, like even Reanimator, which not the story notwithstanding with the movie, because the story actually has some really horrific parts in it. I think that's his riff on Frankenstein, and I
Oh
think he was
God,
just so
Jeffrey Combs is the man.
yeah. You ever see Jeffrey Combs has a movie called you ever see Dr. Mordred?
No,
Write that down. It's
I will. Yeah,
insane.
Dr.
It,
Mordred, sort of
it's
like spelt
basically
like the Marvel character.
yes.
Okay.
What I want to say is that it was originally supposed to be a Doctor Strange movie, but they couldn't get the funding or the rights. I'm sorry, they couldn't get the rights. So I think it turned into this. It's so weird. It is so
That's
weird.
awesome.
It has him,
I
and it
will
has the
look that up.
dude from the guy who was on X-Files. He played one of the alien characters. He was also in like one of the Mortal Kombat movies. Big guy.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He plays the bad guy, and the movie is just off the wall. It's so good though, because it's like classic Jeffrey Combs.
I love Jeffrey Combs. The fact that he went on to play the Question and does such a great job in Justice League Unlimited, and he's so unlike everything else about the show.
Right, right. Yeah,
It's
and he
just
was
like,
even on the newest run of the Ninja Turtle cartoons. He was the Rat King,
yeah,
which was pretty
yeah,
cool.
dude,
Yeah.
I love, especially I think it's like season 4 when they go up to the cabin,
Oh, that
because there's
season,
so
that whole
many,
season
yeah,
is fantastic.
there's
Yep.
so many homages to like
Hmm.
everything we love and
Yep.
everything we
Yeah.
all grew up on. It's like it's homage after homage, and you even have
Yep.
like everyone from Crypt Keeper himself, John Kassir,
Hmm.
to some of the other big name voice actors that you see pop up all over the place. It's just like, well played,
Yeah.
New Turtles. I mean, there's a flat on Big Trouble in Little China episode.
Yep. There's that one. There's one where it's basically a riff on The Thing.
Yep.
Robert Englund did a voice in the one with the Dream Beavers, which is
Yep.
that episode is insane. You have the episode The Creep, where it's basically Friday the 13th. So good.
It's so good. I love
So good.
everything about New Turtles. It's
Yeah.
so
No,
good.
I'm a fan.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be bummed when it's finally over, because I think they at least have one more season.
Yeah, this is the last season. It's like
Is it the last
non-linear.
season?
It's just like,
Okay.
yeah, it's called like They even changed the title. It's like Tales of the Turtles or something.
Huh.
And this is the last season. Yeah.
Still a bummer,
Yeah.
because it's definitely a good show.
Yeah. No, it definitely is.
I'm looking at time. How much longer do you want to go? Because I don't want to keep you too long tonight.
It's up to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just let me know and we'll cut it off. But
Okay. Yeah. I think. But yeah. I think I was talking about Lovecraft.
yep.
Yeah. But yeah. No. I just. his stuff is, when I first started reading it was all very unexpected. You know what I mean? Like you just each story after the next was just more and more like bizarre, and it hooked me into it because, and just the universes he created with his stories are just, each story is its own universe, which is amazing.
Oh yeah.
So,
and I mean, no adaptation of his work is anything like the last one. Everybody like completely takes on new aspects and different worlds of Lovecraft's work. It's similar to
yeah,
Poe. We don't see much Poe adapted, though. One of
right.
my favorite random facts about Poe is without Edgar Allan Poe, we would have never had Sherlock Holmes. I love that fact
Right. We
because
wouldn't
of
have
his
had
because of his
anybody.
detective character. Well, it's true, but
Yeah.
because of Poe's detective character, who he only wrote a couple stories with, we got
Yep.
Sherlock Holmes. I
Yeah.
love
No.
that fact. It's so cool.
Yep. Yeah. No. He created the detective story with I mean, you have Murders in the Rue Morgue, and then you have then he created like treasure hunting stories too with
Yeah.
the Gold Bug. Like unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing to see
Yeah.
like
It's really remarkable.
who ties into who. I always love
Yeah.
the little fun stories that people come up with, or like movies that people come up with where certain people are teaming up with certain people, and you find out like historical figures who knew each other, whether
Right.
it be like authors or it's one of my
Right.
favorite bits in I don't know if you've ever read James Robinson and Tony Harris's Starman. There's
Hmm.
full-fledged conversations between the Shade and why can't I think of his name? The Shade and it's gonna bother me. Come on, brain, work. I can't. It's a really famous historical figure, author, and I can't think of his name right now. But there's full-fledged conversations between him because the Shade is basically immortal. So
Uh,
he's lived this long historied life in Opal City, and you get to like
hmm.
tend to see him make references to like whether it be like classic comic book characters or full on authors whose names I can't think of right now, and it's bothering the hell out of me. I'm
What
gonna
did he?
like tag you in a comment later on Facebook. It was this guy.
What did he write? Can you recall
um,
that?
why is this bothering me so much right now? Hold on. I'm gonna cheat real fast because it really is on top of my tongue too. I'm gonna put elevator music in here. Which historical figure? With in Starman. It's one of my favorite comic book runs too. That whole thing in Starman. What do you
Right.
think of the Hellboy announcement, by the way?
I think it's great, to be honest.
Okay.
I actually think it's great. I don't understand the backlash.
Okay,
Because to be
it's
honest, that
for me, it's not backlash.
mhm.
I have this uncomfortable feeling that there was some sort of, I mean, they said obviously the budget thing, but I do think there was some sort of falling out between Mignola and Del Toro,
Oh yeah, there absolutely was. I know for a fact that there was.
which is
Yeah.
such a bummer.
Um, I can see, maybe from a few perspectives. Well, number one, I think that if you go back and look at what Del Toro did with the movies, like don't get me wrong, they're a lot of fun. I love the first Hellboy, and the second one's great too. But if you compare them with the comics, and if you're the creator of that comic, it's not exactly the best version. So if maybe he's thinking as time goes on, he wanted something that was a little more close to his creation to live on in a better form, I could kind of see that. So if he wanted to go ahead and have something that he was a little more in charge of brought to the screen, which I think is the case this time.
Yeah.
Because when Guillermo del Toro does something, he Guillermo del Toro's it. You could tell
Yeah.
it's
No,
his.
that's true.
He has a lot of he reuses a lot of things in his movies, which is it's fine. But I can absolutely see why they would want to redo it because, and you can even tell with the title. What is it? The Rise of the Blood Queen, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Very
could
Mignola.
tell. Yeah, you could tell that he wants to bring it back to more of a more of a plausible horror and not so much of like a fairy kind of themed horror. Like if it's going to be like straight vampires, like that's awesome. Like, and if
Oh
it's
yeah,
anything like the Lord Baltimore book, I mean that could be really great. But I know from a friend of a friend that yeah they had a pretty pretty hard falling out, the two of
that's a
them.
bummer. It
Yeah.
really is because they're both
But
like awesome. So
yeah, but I can kind of see how that would happen because he also spins his wheels. Like Guillermo announces that he's going to do a movie,
yep.
and then he's like, "Oh, I'm doing these 6 movies," and like one of them actually gets made. It's like stop announcing stuff.
Yeah, because he's not even directing Pacific Rim 2, right? Somebody else
Right.
is.
Hmm.
He's just producing.
Yeah,
It
and
was Oscar Wilde, by the way. I couldn't think of Oscar Wilde.
oh, Oscar Wilde.
There's like a full-fledged like half the comic is just the two of them just talking to each other.
There you go.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I mean, I'm aware of it and I've read a few issues, but not enough to.
Well, there's a full-on Hellboy crossover too.
Okay.
The
I'll check
the
that out.
omnibuses are great. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know the floppy trades are
Right.
still in print, but I don't think the hardcovers are, which is
Okay.
a bummer. But
Yeah. I'm actually kind of glad that Del Toro didn't get his hands on At the Mountains of Madness, because
oh yeah, that was the one he was supposed to do with Tom Cruise, right?
yeah, I'm actually kind of glad it didn't happen because I don't know if he would have been able to portray that like hopeless cosmic horror that Lovecraft is. I think he would have had to insert too much of his style into it, and I don't think it would have been such a great adaptation.
I want to be optimistic for what Universal's trying to do with the monster universe right now, but this Tom
Yeah.
Cruise Mummy movie, it's like what was wrong with the ones that oh wow,
Brendan
Brendan
Fraser.
Fraser. Yeah, those ones were actually pretty fun.
Yeah, but
Except for the
he
last one.
doesn't. Yeah, well, yeah. um, well, I think they just wanted to move on and do something new, and I get where they're going with it, but
The
they've been trying to launch that Universal Monsters like universe, and it's just not happening because that was that Dracula
oh yeah,
Untold or whatever was
Dracula
awful.
Unleashed or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awful. And then
Oh man,
the
the
Wolfman
Frankenstein
was.
one.
Oh my God! Yeah, yeah. What was that? Which one was theirs? Was I Frankenstein theirs, or the
Yeah.
one with James McAvoy theirs?
No, I Frankenstein was
Okay,
the one with Aaron Eckhart.
right. Both are terrible.
Yep.
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. I mean,
Right?
right? It shouldn't be that hard. It's actually a pretty straightforward story. But
The only cool thing about this universe idea is the fact that Russell Crowe is playing Dr. Jekyll.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Is that who he is?
Yeah. It got
Okay.
revealed accidentally in an interview a while back. Someone was like, "No, he's Dr. Jekyll," and I was just like, "Wait, what? Like, really?"
Huh. That's interesting. Well, I hope they're able to pull it together.
I will pull this. I will pull this back into a horror tangent in a second. But I mean, that's one of the major missed opportunities of the mediocre League of Extraordinary Gentlemen film versus the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen books. Because while he is a horror character, I don't know how much of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen you've actually read, but the especially those first 2 volumes, the character exploration of Mr. Hyde is beyond fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, and they kind of left him as almost like a one-note character in that movie, which is really strange.
Yeah, they give much more time to the meek Dr. Jekyll, who is a lame version of the character compared to Mr. Hyde that we see so many levels in both of those books, especially his relationship with Mina and why he decides to fight the way he's going to. And even kind of slight spoiler alert for those who maybe haven't read Alan Moore's beautiful League of Extraordinary Gentlemen stuff, kind of goes out on a heroic note, and it's awesome to watch against all those crazy Martians. It's just such a cool scene. I love that whole thing. He's just like he does the "come at me, bro" and just goes full force at him. Almost like the Hulk. It seemed like he was getting stronger and angrier the more beat up he gets, and those are some beautiful pages.
Yeah, no, I like the art in those books. They were good.
Kevin O'Neill is brilliant.
Yeah.
So what? Actually, perfect way to gear back into your awesome art is what? Who are you inspired by? Is it like a mix between like a bunch, like across the spectrum, whether it be like movies and video games and just art in general, comic books? Since we've been talking about it, do you have specific influences, or is it across the spectrum?
Yeah, I mean, there is a broad spectrum, but I mean, there's specific artists. I mean, I actually just mentioned it with the Scary Stories edition. Stephen Gamble, the illustrator, and that book specifically was my introduction to horror and was one of my big influences for wanting to become an artist. So he was in. Yeah, there you
go. For those listening to the audio edition, I put up the wall plaque that he made, which is the original cover of Scary Stories, the first volume at least.
Yeah. Yep, and then there's tons of fine artists that influence me. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with Francis Bacon. Actually, no. You might be. All right, Tim Burton's Batman movie, right?
Yep.
Okay, when they're in the museum and they're slashing up all the paintings and messing everything up, the painting that the Joker stops Bob from cutting with the knife. He says, "Leave this one, Bob." But that's a Francis Bacon painting, the one with the screaming figure with the two sides of meat. And it's But other than that, I mean, movies, a slew of horror movies, comic books, lots of pop culture. It just a lot of it. It's kind of like a cement mixer. It all goes in, and then stuff comes out. So, but I mean, specifically, I will be here for a long time. Ridley Scott's Alien, huge influence on me. I mean, also Aliens, the second one. I think, but I'm just the biggest fan as the movie Predator as well. It was also a huge influence on me. God, what else?
You're probably similar to me. Is when you get out to. I mean, I'm a writer, but like I love sketchbooks. So when I'm at conventions, I actually that's what this is sitting on right now. If I move my laptop, give me one sec. I actually the latest piece I just picked up was as the laptop falls. I just picked up Alex Party's
cool.
camera. Yeah, his doppelgangers. And then I have like this whole thing is just different art books that I've picked up at different conventions. Van Sciver's on the back. Van Sciver is actually who my my tattoo on my arm is based after his Green Lantern artwork.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
And then, but yeah, I have like Ryan Otley, Fabio Moon, and Gabriel Ba. Like whenever I see certain artists at conventions and I love their work, I will pick up their art book in a heartbeat.
There you go. I don't know if I'd be able to have one of those because I don't like my sketches. I don't do sketches. Like I start right on the thing. So.
Oh, do you? Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that was going to be the follow-up question.
Okay.
Process. I was kind of curious about your overall process. So there wouldn't ever be a Jason Mckittrick art book because you don't really sketch.
I mean, I could make up sketches, but honestly, no. I get the idea, and then I'll have the clay that I'm going to use. I have it like rolled out flat, and then I kind of start drawing into the clay. And then I cut out that design, and then I start building onto it. So the sketch becomes the finished piece. So
awesome.
Yeah.
What? I think I kind of asked about it a little earlier in like in a different way, but like from the prototype to what we see finished, how long would you say each like specific piece takes you?
Depends on the size and the complexity. I mean, the magnets usually take me like a few days to sculpt. Wall plaques about the same, but then if it's like if it's like a statue or a figurine, that can take up to a week, sometimes 2 weeks to do. but never more than that. I'm actually usually pretty fast with my my sculpting.
What kind of process do you use overall? Like, is it like a lot of like curing? Is it a lot of like from the mold standpoint to say like the final pieces? I know we see the process if you go on the Cryptocurium Facebook page every once in a while. You post like that you're about to send the magnets off, and then you get the magnets back to paint them, kind of thing.
Oh no, the magnets don't get sent anywhere. I cast them all myself.
Oh, what am I thinking of then?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking of.
No, everything is done here. Like I
Oh,
sculpt
nice.
them, I
Okay.
cast them, I paint them. Everything is done literally here. So I do it all. I do it all here. I mean, the sculptures are all done in clay called Sculpey, which is an oven baked clay.
Oh, okay.
Once it's done, it's I do a mold from a silicone mold rubber, and then I pour everything in a casting resin, usually black, and then I just paint right onto there.
And then gearing towards the end, because I know it's about almost about to be 10:30.
Okay.
In a couple minutes for both of
Okay.
us. But,
Yeah.
any hints of like some of the, especially like when it comes to the Parcel of Terror, any kind of hints to the next couple months? I know you were talking about obviously the wall plaque being a certain cat, which
Yeah.
has me really excited for this month. But what else can you kind of tease about what we can
Yeah, I'll tell you because it's gonna come out in like the next day or two. But the magnet for June is one of the aliens from They Live, John Carpenter's.
Yes.
Yeah. But everything else will stay a secret until I think Saturday. I'm gonna have it all up.
My three favorite movies of all time are Army of Darkness is always number one, and then Big Trouble in Little China and They Live. Because those are the three definitions of the everyman character who gets thrown into the craziest bullshit imaginable. But
Yeah.
that's why the audience can identify with them, because
Sure.
they're dealing with this crazy shit and they're rolling with it as best as they possibly can while not losing their minds. And that's half of the charm of those things.
Yep. No, my top three. I have two Carpenter movies because my top three are Alien, Halloween, and The Thing.
Oh, nice.
So.
Well, no, I can see Halloween. I'm not the biggest Halloween fan myself, but like I can definitely see it. Like my favorite like stupid slasher movie will always be Jason 10 because of how big of a guilty pleasure it is. But that's because it's a stupid slasher film.
Yeah.
My actual favorite slasher film has become the mockumentary there. You've done a magnet of him. I can't think of I always forget the name of it's a recent one. It's about 10 years old at this point. It's the one where why can't I think of his name? It's like the film their college students following him around, and then the story's flipped when it's like because she turns out to be like his victim. Why can't I think of the name of it right now? That's bothering me. That's like the fifth time I blinked right now.
And I did a piece of it. I did.
I thought you did a magnet, didn't you?
I don't know who we're talking about. It's not ringing any bells.
Hold on. It's really bothering me. I thought you did a magnet of it. Why can't I think of?
Oh, are you talking about Leslie Vernon?
Yeah, Leslie Vernon. Why can't I think of Leslie?
I've never done a piece of him.
I thought you did one.
No, the creator of that movie is very protective of his stuff. Yeah, that's why you don't see much stuff from that movie.
One of these days, hopefully, we'll see their sequel though, because that first one is very good.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
That's my favorite slasher movie, just because of how it's written.
It's definitely a good one.
But before I go to how I usually end the show is since we were talking a whole bunch about previous horror movies, have you seen some of the recent ones like Train to Busan or The Void or even the Night Watch Men? Have you seen that one yet? The
I
vampire
didn't see
one
that one. No, nope, didn't see that one. I
came
saw the other
out
two though.
last year. Yeah, it's a vampire zombie like mixed film because the vampires act very zombie like at moments, but still
Hmm.
follow vampire rules. And it's very Shaun of the Dead in its execution. It's very smart, very funny.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's
I've not seen that one.
the Night Watchman, space between watch and men.
Okay, okay, yeah, I'll check it out.
It's really good. I'm not sure if it's available streaming. I had to download it. So
I'll write that down. I'll take a look.
yeah, I would highly recommend it. I saw the trailer ages ago and it finally was released, and I'm like, I wonder if this is going to be any good. I watch it and I'm like, oh, okay, I really like this.
Yeah, nice.
The
Yeah,
only
well, leave
reason
them
I
look out.
the only reason I knew about Train to Busan was because of Johnny, and then suddenly I'm watching this
Hmm.
going, oh my god, this thing is amazing.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. That was really great.
And then I had no idea what The Void was until my friend Maya told me, and then
Oh, so good.
yeah, then I watch it and I'm like, oh yeah, you can tell they're Carpenter fans.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
I
And probably
love
the most Lovecrafty movie I've seen in a long time.
I love that they flat out said there's going to be no sequel. That makes me very happy with that ending.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I was just like, that's not even trolling. That's execution done right.
Sure. Sure. Exactly. You said what you had to say. Why revisit it?
But yes, usually how I end the show before I have people tell people where they can find them on the internet is what we've kind of gone over a little bit of this. What you're watching, what you're playing, what you're listening to, what you're reading, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Can start with whichever category. It doesn't matter which order.
Let's say I'm playing the newest Resident Evil, which is
Nice.
insane. Let's see, watching. What do I have on my queue that I want to watch? I mean, I just watched The Void. Obviously, I'm waiting for the new Alien movie.
Yep.
Um,
As we all are.
I just finally started watching Black Mirror. I know it's been out for a while on it, but I just finally got around to watching that, and that's been pretty good so far. Reading, I'm in the middle of a book called A Season with the Witch. It's about a guy who spends a whole October in Salem,
Oh,
which is pretty
okay.
interesting. I think that covers reading, watching, playing, right? Most of the time I'm just working.
Are you gonna check out Prey? Because Prey looks pretty cool. I haven't been able to play it yet, but
Yeah, I saw that, but I have very limited video game time, so I've actually been
Oh,
chipping
yeah.
away at Resident Evil. So
with 3 kids, you said?
yeah, yep. I
Yep.
have 3 little girls, and I'm married, so yep. So yeah, that's about it.
Have you seen the Mystery Science Theater update yet?
I haven't looked into that, and I actually that I've never watched any of the older ones, to be honest.
Oh, okay, we're hanging up now. What? No.
Nah, it was just something
Kidding.
there's so many things to look to see and watch. It was just something I never got into. I'm sure it's fantastic, and I probably will watch them eventually, but it just was never in my wheelhouse.
I don't think the whole series is on Netflix, but a lot of it is on Netflix.
Yeah, no, I've seen little bits of it here and there. I know what it is, and I know that people
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. Yeah.
And hey, just think, a couple more years and we're getting King Kong versus Godzilla again.
Yeah, that could be awesome or really terrible.
The King of Monsters versus the King of Skull Island. I'm still going with the King of Monsters. Sorry, Godzilla's always got my heart, man.
Yeah, he can shoot like radiation out of his mouth. So I mean,
right?
Yeah.
I kind of like the updated design too.
Yeah, I do. I like the new. Yeah.
More. It's actually weird because I kind of like the updated American version more than I like the 3 forms that we saw in the last
the Shin
Japanese
Godzilla
movie. Yep.
Yeah, it looked a little too cartoony for me. There's just something
Yeah.
very cartoony about it. Yeah, I mean the American one looks like a plausible creature. You know what I mean?
What the last one, since we are kind of talking kaiju before I have you tell people where they can
Sure.
find you on the internet, is because it is a slightly controversial movie that people talk about all the time. What are your opinions on because I'm actually a pretty big fan of it. I've watched it more than 3 times. I really like Cloverfield. What are your opinions on Cloverfield as a American kaiju?
Oh, I love the first one. I mean, and the other one was great too. But that first one I've probably seen like 15 times. I think it's
Yeah.
great. I think that it was. I think that the execution was great. I also think that it was an obvious comment on after September 11th, which was
Yep.
also very interesting. Which a lot of people who don't live on the East Coast don't even understand September 11th. I really don't think they do. Um, so. I think it's actually a really great monster movie. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah. I
And I think it
really
was.
actually like the design of the creature too. I
I
think
like the design
Chloe
of the
is awesome.
creature. Yeah, because it's alien. It doesn't
Yep.
look like it's extremely weird, and it's also and it's I like the fact that they even say later that it's a baby, like it's not even full grown, which is also
Yep.
really cool. I mean, I'd love to see more of that creature, but I doubt that we will.
I know, it's such a bummer.
Yeah,
And I
and I think
mean,
if you're not into found footage or whatever you want to call that style, maybe that annoyed some people. But I thought that was the perfect way to show that type of a kaiju movie. It's perfect. I think.
I demand more horror from Drew Goddard. That's all I'm saying.
Sure, sure,
I mean, the last thing we saw him do was Daredevil season 1. So,
and that was fantastic.
right?
So, yep,
That fight scene in episode 2, man, he throws a microwave at
yep.
a guy.
Oh, I love that so much. I can't wait for more. I mean, I think Iron Fist was a misstep for them, but I think Defenders is going to be great.
Poor Finn had to learn
Yeah,
choreography in 15 minutes for most of that. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah,
They
which is
rushed
really
him into
terrible.
production. Yeah.
Which if you're called the Iron Fist and your fight scenes are terrible, it's like oof, you know.
So, so to end the show on a not sour note, but
Right.
on a nerdy note, where can people find you on the internet, man? And where can people find
um,
all the Cryptocurium awesomeness?
you can find me Cryptocurium. You can find me at cryptocurium.com, which is CRYPTOCURIUM.com. I know it's a mouthful. We're on all social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. Did I forget anything? We have our Etsy store, which is where I would probably direct people most if they're looking for more one-off stuff. But if you're looking to subscribe to anything, check out the main website. But if you just Google Parcel of Terror or Order the Thin Veil, you'll find us.
Awesome. And thank
Yep.
you for joining me. Obviously, when we do panel episodes, if you're not too busy, I'll have to invite you on for the right topic if you
Sure.
want.
Sure, absolutely. Anytime. I like talking about nonsense.
I know. The most fun about podcasting is especially like if you have, random guests whose work you enjoy,
Yeah.
you can just like shoot the shit on anything.
Yeah. And I say talk about nonsense with the highest respect possible.
Also, I know I already suggested Donnie Darko, but I'm just saying we need
Okay.
a critter magnet. We
Oh,
need a critter
Critters.
magnet.
Critters is on the list.
Nice.
It'll something Critters will come along soon. I promise.
Yay! Okay.
All right,
Have a
cool.
good
Thanks,
night,
man.
man. Yeah,
You too.
and I will link you when the audio version goes live as well.
Sounds good.
Probably by Thursday. I got to look
Cool.
at what I'm working the next couple days, but probably by Thursday.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Have a good night, man.
All right, take care.